10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good day everyone. In this channel, we are going to tackle about my best practices in teaching Araling Panlipunan. This is Romel L. Andicho, your first presenter for Grade 4 Best Teaching Practices. As part of the Group 4, I am taking the Araling Panlipunan Grade 4, specifically the first quarter. Now, here are my guiding principles in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Effective teaching of social studies or Araling Panlipunan is characterized as meaningful, active, value-based, integrative, challenging, or what we call the MIBCA. My first guiding principle is effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is meaningful. A lesson is meaningful if the students see the relevance and connection of their lesson to their lives because it has a real-world application. It means that meaning must be made and understanding must be earned. Number 2, effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is active. It requires students to process and think about the way they are learning. Active learning is hands-on, minds, hearts-on. In active learning, students work either individually or collaboratively using rich and varied sources to reach understanding, make decisions, discuss issues, and solve problems. Number 3, effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is value-based. A powerful and effective AP teaching is value-driven. Its intended outcomes are in the affective domain, the development of mamamayang makadiyos, makakalikasan, makabansa, at makatao. In our classroom, students learn democracy by experiencing democracy right there in the classroom. Number 4, effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is integrative. The subject itself is an integration of several interrelated disciplines. It is sensitive to and integrates multiple intelligences and learning styles of students. And lastly, effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is challenging. Learning tasks should neither be too easy to bore the students nor too difficult to discourage them. AP teachers should know their students more than anything else. At this moment, we will talking about my approaches in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Approaches in teaching Araling Panlipunan. It is a set of principles, beliefs, or ideas about the nature of learning which is translated into the classroom. Here are some of the approaches that I use in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Number 1 is constructivist approach. Students come to class with entry knowledge and skills, as well as teachers construct meaning based on the prior knowledge and experience while learning is social and active. Number 2 is collaborative approach. Students learn better when they learn with others. Learners work together towards a common goal. Teachers allow peer teaching as peer learning or team learning is used. Number 3 is conceptual approach. Students figure out the attributes of a group or category that has already been formed by the teacher. And number 4 is integrative approach. Teaching and learning are more meaningful and further enriched if lesson is connected to other disciplines or interdisciplinary. It is connected to real-life experiences or to what we call transdisciplinary. Number 5 is what we call reflective approach. Teachers analyze their own practice and underlying basis to consider alternative means for achieving their ends. All of these approaches to learning is important because approaches to learning domain focuses on how children learn. It refers to the skills and behaviors that children use to engage in learning. At this moment, let's talk about my instructional strategies in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Instructional strategies in teaching Araling Panlipunan. It is a set of decisions to achieve an objective that results in plan. It is a way of approaching a problem or task or plan designed for controlling and manipulating certain information. Here are some of the strategies that I use. Role-playing. This is one of the time-tested strategies in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Through the assumption of different historical characters, the students would enjoy and learn the subject. Number 2. Visualization and imagination exercise. This is one effective way to create a picture of a situation of any historical event using the power of the mind. The students may have a vivid picture of a person, place, and event once the mind will be utilized in imagination. Perspective taking. This is one exceptional approach wherein a student is asked to understand and appreciate where a certain person is coming from. This is a way to put oneself in the place of another person in order to further tolerate a certain character with a particular personality. Next is discussion. The active discussion with the students is truly worthwhile. It is truly anticipated that a dynamic discussion of different topics in Araling Panlipunan may lead to better learning to a better results. Number 5 is simulation games. Imitation or reproduction of people in a certain situation may be much fruitful. Here, the student may feel the situation and as part of the game may suggest better solutions to a problem being shown. Number 6. Reading and writing quotation. The quotation on history or from people in history may stimulate and inspire the students to be a better person. Once the teacher presents a quotation before the class, then the student's attention may be keen quote. Number 7 is web charting. This is one way to show the relationship of ideas using the web chart. By means of web charting, the students will have a clear picture of complex ideas in making them simple. Number 8 is use of films and photography. The images of people, places, and events are seen through films and photography. The actual picture of significant characters and places who took part in historical events is much visible. Telling stories. Students love to hear stories, most especially from their teachers. The students learn through listening to the historical stories as uttered by the Araling Panlipunan teacher. And lastly, song and poems. These are the strategies and approaches in teaching Araling Panlipunan which may be found effective. Indeed, teaching Araling Panlipunan should be creative, integrative, challenging, and active. This is my topic in teaching Araling Panlipunan Grade 4 first quarter. Entitled, Ang Pilipinas ay Isang Bansa with its code. And here are its objectives. Ang mga mag-aaral ay inaasahang A. Natatalakay ang konsepto ng bansa. B. Naiisa-isa ang mga katangian ng bansa. With this topic, here are my techniques in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Techniques in teaching Araling Panlipunan, it is a set of steps we follow when we teach. It is a personal art and style of the teacher in carrying out the procedure of teaching. During motivation and presentation, here is the techniques that I usually use. The Socratic questioning. Instead of providing information to students directly, the lesson is taught through probing in thought-provoking question in an effort to stimulate original thought from the students. For the topic, ang Pilipinas ay isang bansa, here are some of the Socratic questions that we can throw. Una, paano masasabing ang isang lugar ay isang bansa? Pangalawa, bakit tinawag na bansa ang Pilipinas? At pangatlo, ano ba ang kahulugan ng bansa? These questions stimulate discussion and creative and critical thinking, as well as determine how students are thinking. Questions help students retain material by putting into words otherwise unarticulated thoughts. During the discussion, here are some of the techniques that I usually use. Socialized classroom technique. The socialized recitation removes the teacher from the center of activity and places responsibility upon the pupil. The teacher remains the guide and supervisor, but during the recitation itself acts more as an observer and counselor. To be followed by the direct instruction technique. Direct instruction is where teachers use explicit teaching techniques to teach a specific skill to their students. This type of instruction is teacher-directed, where a teacher typically stands at the front of the room and presents information. This technique is usually used during lecture or in a discussion. With the topic, ang Pilipinas ay isang bansa, at this point, we usually answer all the questions that are being thrown during the motivation and the presentation. So we usually give the meaning of the important words in this topic. So after giving the meaning of the word bansa, here are some of the elements on how to become a certain place became a country. So elemento ng pagkabansa ay yung tao, teritoryo, pamahalaan, at kalayaan o soberanya. Next, we usually give the meaning of the elements of a certain country. Number one is yung tinatawag natin na tao. So, ang tao ay tumutukoy sa grupong naninirahan sa loob ng isang teritoryo na binubuo ng populasyon ng isang bansa. So, ito yung pinaka-importanting elemento ng isang bansa. No, yung tao. Ang sumunod na elemento ay tinatawag natin na teritoryo. Ang teritoryo ay tumutukoy sa lawak ng lupain at katubigan kasama na ang himpapawid at kalawakan sa itaas ito. Ito rin ang tinitirahan ng tao at pinamumunuan ng pamahalaan. Next is yung tinatawag nating pamahalaan. No? Isa pa rin itong elemento ng isang bansa kung saan ang pamahalaan ay isang samahan o organisasyong politikal na itinataguyod ng mga grupo ng tao na naglalayong magtatag ng kaayusan at magpanatili ng isang sibilisadong lipunan. At ang huling elemento ng isang bansa ay ang tinatawag natin na soberanya. Ang soberanya o ganap na kalayaan ay kapangyarihan ng pamahalaang mamahala sa kanyang nasasakupan. Tumutukoy rin ito sa kalayaang magpatupad ng mga programa ng hindi pinakikialaman ng ibang bansa. So during generalization, we usually use the technique which what we call questioning techniques, no? A set of methods used by teachers when asking questions, such as wait time and bounds. Experienced teachers recognize the power of questions. And to be followed by what we call the recitation technique. It is the presentation made by the student to demonstrate knowledge of a subject or to provide instruction to others. So, ito na yung panahon kung saan magbibigay ng tanong yung guro sa mga estudyante niya para malaman kung naintindihan ba talaga ng kanyang mga mag-aral yung kanyang itinuro. So, andito na yung mga tanong na ating maaaring ibigay sa ating mga mag-aaral para sa topikong ito. So, ano ang kahulugan ng bansa? Ano-ano ang katangian ng isang lugar para masabing ito ay isang bansa? At bakit maituturing na isang bansa ang Pilipinas? So ito yung ilan sa mga pwede nating itanong sa ating mga estudyante para malaman natin kung naintindihan ba talaga nila yung ating paksa tungkol sa pagiging isang bansa ng Pilipinas. Okay, now let's go to the part of application. So I usually use activity-based technique, no? Activity-based technique, learners are involved actively in hands-on minds on experiences and acquire an opportunity to relate intangible concepts in theories with actual observations. So activity-based learning plays an important role in teaching the students to collaborate, communicate, interact, and work in teams. Peers, other learners who are part of the social environment contribute to the knowledge construction by sharing as well as identifying the affordances within the task at hand. So at this point, here are some of the activities that we can give to the students with this certain topic. At this point, we are on the part of what we call evaluation. No? So evaluation plays an enormous role in the teaching, learning process. It helps teachers and learners to improve teaching and learning. Evaluation is a continuous process and a periodic exercise. It helps in forming the values of judgment, educational status, or achievement of student. So here are some activities that we can give to our students during evaluation. Now we are on the part of what we call values integration. Values integration does not mean quoting a value in discussing it. It is leading the students to see a personal meaning in what the teachers teach in the classroom. Sa values integration, dito natin malalaman kung ano ang importansya ng ating natutunan sa araw na yon. No? Dito natin malalaman kung pwede ba nating i-apply ito sa ating aktual na buhay at gaano ito kaimportante sa bawat isa ng mga mag-aaral. So during this activity on values integration, we usually use rubrics, no, to measure how the students perform in this certain activity. So in teaching, we usually give assignments. So by making assignments, the skills of learning will also get increased. While making assignments, students have to learn several new things and require to keep them all of them safe in mind. It will benefit a lot. It will engage their mind in working, in studying, and they will focus more. Kaya sa puntong ito, kailangan ko na pong magpaalam. I hope marami kayong natutunan sa akin. Ako po si Romelan Dicho at nagsabing, salamat po sa inyong pakikinig.